Let's go ahead and now bring Fox News political analyst Jono Caldwell. His 18-year-old brother, we all well know Christian, was shot and killed in Chicago just over 3 years ago. Still no arrests in that case. Jono is also the author of The Day My Brother Died and founder of the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety. He joins me now, as does Danielle Carter-Walters, vice president of Chicago Flips Red. So you guys both are eyes and ears on the ground in the city. Jono, do you agree that Trump sending the National Guard into Chicago potentially signals to Black Americans they are a problem?
Absolutely not. That's asinine commentary that we heard. Just imagine being a family member who lost not one family member, but multiple, which is the reality of many people that live in the city of Chicago. It is insane to think that the policies like the Safety Act, which eliminate cash bail, is making Chicago safer. It's also another factor that the mayor has refused to mention is the clearance rate is abysmal. For the people who are being murdered in the city of Chicago, they're getting no justice. So I would argue that families that are there who've suffered through this crime crisis are saying, yes, bring whatever resources and help you can bring, Mr. President. And that's exactly what I'm saying today as well. My brother will not die in vain. We're going to get this problem straight. But we need people with guts, politicians like Donald Trump, that say enough is enough. Here's a solution. Let's see if it works.
Well, that, Danielle, is certainly not what Mayor Johnson is saying. He was pressed about whether he would accept more police funding earlier today. Take a listen.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that we don't.
That's not the question I asked.
Have you ever heard of a mayor turning down the prospect of federal funding before?
Well, he said affordable housing. Let's just be clear about that. Only 30 to 40% of those units will be affordable. And the Chicago residents, they're going to have credit checks and things. The only people that would benefit from that is illegal aliens, because they don't need that. And we know that he spent $600 million, and we believe it's more, on them. So if he would have used that money and funded more police officers and hired more police officers and gave them back their powers, then we would be safe. We know that he's a defund the police mayor, and we know that he wants to have social workers in place of the CPD. So we understand that. Look, the problem is this. I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago. We can't even sit in our cars without worrying about a gun being put to our heads and being carjacked and robbed. We don't even stop at red lights. They run the red lights. I run red lights because you know that if you're sitting at a red light, it's a chance that a car will pull on the side of you and put guns in your head. And they're jumping out by 3 with guns in your head. So if you are armed, you can't do anything about it. The residents, we understand that if we leave our house, we know it's a chance that we're not coming back home to our loved ones. This is what we do every day, and we understand when we get up in the morning and leave our homes. So for this mayor to be that insensitive and say these things, I think he needs to go to jail for treason.
Well, Jono, the governor told National Guard troops not to come. Take a listen.
As Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city? Instead, I say, Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here.
Well, we know the last time a Democratic official told folks not to come was Kamala Harris talking to illegal immigrants, and we know how that panned out.
Exactly right. And the fact of the matter is J.B. Pritzker is only concerned about running for president at this time. He's not concerned about the people of Illinois. He's never been concerned about the people of Illinois. He is a failed politician who's willing to do whatever the far left tells him to do. That includes eliminating cash bail. That includes being supportive of some of Johnson's policies, like the no chase policy, where police officers cannot pursue a suspect without calling their supervisor. They need to make this stuff come to an end and support the police and let them do their jobs.
Jono, Danielle, thanks as always for taking time to talk to us. Great hearing from both of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.